So this morning, I woke up early, like 4 a.m. early, and got up and did the normal dog walk in the back road, which is more isolated, so there's less, almost zero chance of involuntary exposure to secondhand smoke. I think it's been like once in over a year there happened to be a car driving down that road that was smoking. So I did that this morning and then decided, you know what? The dog his nails are getting long. I'm too busy to cut them with school and everything. I need to walk him on the main road, the asphalt. It's 4 in the morning, so hopefully there won't be a risk. A risk assessment, right? Hopefully there won't be a risk of involuntary exposure to secondhand marijuana smoke or even secondhand cigarette smoke. I don't like that stuff either. Come here. So I do it. And sure enough, one of the neighbors at 108, I think. Yeah, 108. He drives past in like a white work truck right as we get to the end of the road, so there's no avoiding it. Come on, you know the drill. Roll over. And he, yeah, sure enough, there was a cloud of secondhand smoke that I smelled coming out of that truck. So I got hit with involuntary exposure to secondhand smoke against my will and without my consent. At 5 a.m. at that point. 4:35, around there. Now, it's very, very odd to me that this rural farm area has so much drug use. People drive around all night long, smoke, and these are marijuana smokers. I'm pretty sure they also do meth. Yeah, no, I know for a fact, actually, they also do meth. Because one guy got caught by me. He was stealing the neighbor's appliances out of his yard to tweak for scrap metal, and he was driving this like old tweaker truck. You know the tweaker trucks, right? Yeah, you're Vashon. And so, hang on, I gotta wash my hand. And so it's just like Vashon, right? Where there's marijuana, there's meth, and it's really weird because this is supposedly like the right wing sort of Christian conservative state, but it's like just a mirror image of the liberal Vashon, type white people problems of drugs, sexual immorality, etc. For example, one family, 2 houses to the south, they, when I first moved in, I figured out they were marijuana smokers. At least the son was. And the weed made his girlfriend psycho, like it gets her angry and horny. And she beat up the guy's mom, so they got kicked out of the house because the guy was living with his mom and his girlfriend in his mom and dad's trailer. So they ended up living in their cars all winter long. Apparently they were pregnant while they were living in their cars. They would pull up in the driveway and do drugs in the driveway of his mom's house for like 8 to 12 hours a day because they didn't have jobs, or I don't know. These are also the same people who drive around all night long at like 4 in the morning and whatnot, their cars in there, and they usually come home from whatever they've been doing all night, at like 6 or something. They could be working. I don't know what they're doing. They could be doing drug activity. I have no idea. But I did see their drug activity at that house. Hence the cannabis-induced psychosis causing domestic violence and the homelessness. But eventually they got their own trailer across the street where they still do drugs. And I found out the guy had actually lived in an RV at one point and then had another trailer at one point, and he got kicked out of both of them because of his drug, activities. Like, not just the domestic violence caused by the drug use and God knows what else, but also the drug dealing and stuff. Like, it never is a long-term thing with drug dealers. And they have a kid now. They have a baby. So they should quit doing the drugs because they have kids. And I know Vashon is very much against that. No way, bro. We're totally fine, man. We're like great parents on weed, bro. If it's not addictive, why can't you just quit and live without it, especially now that you're a fucking parent? What? And so you get a lot of these shitty parents who don't think they're shitty parents because the drugs reinforce their shitty opinions by detaching them from reality. Bro, the kid's fine, bro. What? And the thing is, they're in a community that is full of shitty people. So this shitty community reinforces their shitty false opinions about being good parents on weed. You'd be a good parent off weed. Uh, who would fucking disagree with that other than a junkie? No way, bro. It's fine, bro. Fashion, man. The weed's more important than the kids, bro. And so then this other truck that passed by was the neighbor, one house to the north of the son there. And the son's brother was the one doing the meth and stealing the appliances, like the dryers and whatnot that were sitting in dude's yard. But then the ones one house north, they can't quit either. And you can see the harmful effects of marijuana in their lives, like it's visible. Such as the weight gain. Like everyone who goes to that house or lives in that house is fat. So clearly it's an appetite stimulant. And they're not in chemotherapy. But other than that, there's other signs, like symptoms, right? Like if you're assessing a disease, you could see these signs and symptoms of harmful effects of their drug use. And yet they just cannot live without it. And I've, reported all the neighbors to the police, of course. It's the only way that I can reduce and eliminate involuntary exposure to secondhand marijuana, because marijuana junkies will not voluntarily self-regulate their own behavior out of consideration for others. And this is also a thing on Vashon. I could tell people till I'm blue in the face, secondhand marijuana smoke sets off my schizophrenia, and they will be like, well, that sucks. Fuck you, man. I'm not quitting my weed. Vashon. And same thing out here. So it's very interesting to know that the only thing that will make a marijuana junkie quit his weed is violent physical intervention by the law.